They called him the bravest man alive. A mortal who dared to defy the heavens, and drank the blood of Zeus before the eyes of the gods. In an instant, agony tore through his body, and he fell. It seemed like the punishment for desiring too much power. But then, he rose again. Forever changed. The soldiers surrounding him could hardly believe their eyes. One man leapt forward, hoping to strike him down, but was flattened with a single blow. As the dust settled, even Ares, the god of war himself, realized what had happened. This mortal had inherited the divine strength of Zeus. One by one, soldiers fell before him. Ares charged, yet even he was stunned by the human's ferocity. For the first time in his immortal life, the war god felt fear. Their battle shook the earth, until Zeus himself descended, silencing them both. The king of the gods saw the truth. This man had tasted his blood, and with it, seized the spark of divinity. Zeus had no choice but to elevate him to godhood. The mortal agreed, but on one condition: no god would ever again harm humankind. And so, bound by his demand, he ascended to Olympus as a son of Zeus. Thousands of years passed. The once mortal god walked among immortals. But now, he faced a new enemy, mankind itself. His opponent was no ordinary soldier. In London, one man had slaughtered 5 trained warriors, plunging the city into chaos. The streets trembled as the god revealed his blade, slicing through streetlights with casual ease. And yet, just when people thought he would destroy the city, he vanished, darting away at an impossible speed of 250 miles per second. Back at ease, he sipped tea calmly, waiting for his foe to approach. Ares arrived, but barbed wire blocked his path. Darts flew, but human weapons could never pierce divine flesh. When escape seemed certain, Ares leapt, shattering the god's weapon in a single strike. But the mortal-born god was not finished. He drew a dagger and drove it into Ares' body. His power, born from both suffering and betrayal, had transformed him into a relentless force. Long before this battle, the seeds of tragedy had been sown. A boy born in the slums, cursed with a strange power in his left eye, the ability to see the colors of human emotion. He grew up despised for his crimson gaze. Yet his mother shielded him, wrapping his wounds in sheets, buying him medicine with the little she earned. To him, she was the most beautiful woman in the world. But beauty hides cruelty. She bore child after child with other men, treating him as nothing more than a bridge to fleeting affection. Still, he loved her. Until the day she confessed with tears that she should have killed him in her womb. The boy's heart shattered. He saw the truth: her love had never been real. It was only a mask, a lure for other men. Consumed by anguish, he wrapped his hands around her throat. Her emotions turned purple, the color of fear. His tears streamed as he whispered that she was still the most beautiful woman in the world, and then, blood stained the pages of Shakespeare. That night, he disappeared into the shadows of London, a new monster born. Years later, the boy, now a man, was summoned to fight again, this time in a war between gods and mortals. Known now as Jack the Executioner, he wielded a terrifying power. Everything he touched with his cursed gloves became a weapon capable of harming gods. The battle against Harry began. Buildings shook as fists clashed. Harry, once betrayed but unbroken, fought with all his might. Yet Jack's cruelty knew no end. He grabbed a girl, forcing her to merge with his weapon. Her sobs filled the arena, her body twisted into a tool of destruction. Harry's fury erupted. He struck the ground, the entire venue trembling. But Jack only smiled. This was the game he wanted to play. The crowd gasped as Jack's gloves revealed their true power. Stones, steel, even entire buildings became weapons in his hands. London itself trembled. Harry was knocked down, his arm severed, yet he refused to surrender. Time and again, he rose. The gods looked on, stunned by his willpower. Jack mocked him, stabbing with hidden blades, cutting, twisting, laughing as blood spilled. But Harry's faith never wavered. To him, truth and humanity were worth more than godly power. Even as blood poured from his wounds, he stood tall, his eyes burning with resolve. The fight escalated, Jack's monstrous weapons against Harry's unyielding fists. Finally, Harry struck, shattering Jack's confidence. Yet Jack refused to die. Again and again, he rose, stabbing, clawing, his madness driving him forward. Then, in a desperate gamble, Jack let his gloves drink Harry's blood. The cursed weapons fused with him, boiling his veins with twisted power. The arena fell silent as Harry's body began to crumble in the light of a divine beam. The impossible had happened, Jack had won. The crowd erupted in shock. To them, Jack was no longer human, but a monster cloaked in the guise of man. Even Sherlock whispered that this was no mortal. Yet in tragedy, there is irony. Shakespeare once wrote, "Beauty is ugliness, and ugliness is beauty." Perhaps Jack, too, was only a mirror of human nature. But the war was far from over. From the heavens descended new champions. Hercules, the mightiest of mortals, thundered onto the field. And from the east came Shiva, the Indian god of destruction, burning with an insatiable hunger to fight. Their clash was unlike any seen before. Muscles against fire, thunder against flame. The ground split as fists collided, each strike strong enough to shatter mountains. Shiva unleashed his hidden strength, channeling the souls of 1,000 warriors within his arm. Hercules answered with raw divine power, his thunder shaking the skies. The two titans fought until blood stained the arena and even the gods trembled at the sight. Lightning roared. Fire blazed. Muscles tore and bones cracked. Both warriors burned their very life force in the struggle. Each blow carried the weight of their existence. At last, Shiva's ultimate attack consumed his body in flames, even as Hercules unleashed the iron cannon, a strike that could destroy gods themselves. Arms shattered, skulls split, yet neither yielded. In the end, one final strike severed the head of the thunder. His body remained standing for a moment, then crumbled into dust, dissolving into the wind. The crowd fell silent. The battle was over. This was no ordinary fight. It was the clash of men who defied the heavens, of mortals who challenged gods, and of gods who feared men. From the boy born in misery to the warriors who shook Olympus itself, one truth remained clear: power always comes with a price. And in this eternal war between God and man, the line between monster and hero may never truly exist.